Hey, it's Jimbo on Lanier coming to you from Hammond's Fishing. I wanted to give you some insights on fishing a spybait. We're nearing the end of summer. We're going to soon be transitioning into that early fall time frame, and nothing is a better option for those suspended fish out on the main lake and in creeks over structure than a spybait. Let's review some of the options and presentation styles that you can use for this critical early fall bait. So I like to use a G-Loomis drop shot rod. This is a mag medium rod with an extra fast tip. Length is 6'10". As far as line setup goes, I like to use Seaguar Abrasics as my leader, and I'll use a fairly long leader, typically 6 or 8 pound test. And then I'll use Seaguar Canson braid or the Seaguar Smackdown braid in 15 pound test. While there are multiple presentation options with this bait, what I have found to work best is this. You make a cast, a long cast preferably, out over the structure specifically and or the brush pile that you're targeting. Allow the bait to sink. And I'm going to show you an example here of how these baits sink. The G-Fix models are weighted in the front, so it allows for a longer cast and also a little bit faster sink. Time your presentation. When you make a cast, make sure that you count it down to the depth at which you've seen the fish suspending. Often an 8 to a 12 count is a viable option when fishing offshore structure. After you've made your cast, when you're presenting the bait, make sure to keep your rod tip down. You'll notice in the videos that I'm sharing with you now, if you keep the rod tip down, it'll help the bait stay more level and more flat, which I think is a better presentation. The key though is to achieve a very slow, methodical retrieve that allows the bait to shimmy. And you'll see what I'm talking about in this example. Watch how the bait shimmies when retrieved at the perfect speed. This is the ideal presentation for a spybait. It's important to note that when you hook up on a fish, you want to manage that fight. You don't set the hook on a spybait. The hooks, as you've noticed from the pictures, are very small. These hooks will easily pull out of a fish if you put too much pressure on during the fight. So one, don't set the hook. When you feel a bite, just continue to reel. You might do a slight rod sweep once you know the fish has loaded up. Make sure your drag is very light because it's very easy for that fish to pull off during the fight if you have your drag set too tightly. We've talked about some great information there, should really get you ready for your spybait game coming up this early fall. Make sure to get into Hammond's Fishing and pick up plenty of spybaits in all the different color choices so you're ready for any condition you see when you're on the water. Be safe out there, gang. We'll see you at Hammond's Fishing.